Good morning, welcome to the Daily News podcast. Today is August 26, 2026.
The big international story this morning is a fast-rising trade clash between the U.S. and Canada. Tariffs are stacking up, and what started as a pressure campaign now risks turning into a full-on trade war between two of the closest economic partners in the world. This matters way beyond politics. North American supply chains are deeply linked, so if this escalates, expect pressure on prices, manufacturing, and cross-border business confidence. The key question now is whether both sides are bluffing for leverage or heading into a genuinely damaging standoff.
And if it does tip into the real thing, consumers will feel it pretty quickly. This is one of those stories that sounds diplomatic, but lands right in wallets and factory floors. On energy and geopolitics, Iran says the Strait of Hormuz is still closed, even after an Oman-linked alternative routing deal. That keeps one of the world's most important oil choke points under a cloud of uncertainty. If the closure drags on, it could disrupt shipping, lift crude prices, and sharpen tensions across the Gulf at a moment when the US, Iran, and China are already clashing over sanctions and trade. In short, the market hears one thing: risk to energy supply is still very real.
Right, and oil traders don't wait around for perfect clarity. Even the threat of a prolonged disruption can move prices fast. Moving to markets, the AI trade is starting to face a political test. Barclays is warning that the huge build-out in AI infrastructure could run into bipartisan voter backlash ahead of the U.S. midterms, especially if communities push back on power use, land use, and the scale of new projects. At the same time, investors are zeroed in on NVIDIA ahead of earnings, asking whether demand is still strong enough to justify sky-high expectations. Microsoft is also in focus, with strong Azure momentum and a massive commercial backlog, but investors still want proof that AI demand turns into cleaner cash flow. So the AI story is still powerful, just not as simple as buy everything with a chip and a chatbot.
That's the shift right there, from excitement to scrutiny. The market still loves AI, but now it wants margins, execution, and a political green light. On the tech side, Apple has unveiled its new M6 and M5 Ultra chips along with refreshed Mac Mini and Mac Studio models. This is a serious desktop and workstation update, with Apple clearly pushing harder on high-performance computing and AI-capable workloads. Also getting attention is OpenAI's custom inference chip, Jalapeno, which the company says delivers faster, more efficient AI performance and could become a real challenger in inference-heavy deployments. Put together, it's another sign that the AI hardware race is broadening beyond the usual names.
And that's good news for customers, because more competition usually means lower costs and faster innovation. It also means NVIDIA may not have the lane to itself forever. In science and health, the FDA has authorized the first wearable that continuously monitors both blood glucose and ketones. That's a big step for diabetes care and for people at risk of diabetic ketoacidosis, because ketones can signal a dangerous turn before a patient fully crashes. A wearable that tracks both in real time could mean earlier intervention, better monitoring outside the hospital, and a more complete picture of metabolic health day to day.
That one could quietly change lives. It's not as flashy as consumer tech, but for patients and families, it's huge. And to wrap up, a major loss in entertainment, Dolly Parton has died at 80. She wasn't just a country music legend, she was a rare cultural figure who crossed music, film, television, and philanthropy without losing the warmth that made people feel like they knew her. Her career lasted decades, her songs defined generations, and her public image somehow stayed both iconic and deeply human. However you found her, through music, movies, or her charity work, Dolly Parton left a mark that's hard to overstate.
She really did. For a lot of people, Dolly wasn't just famous, she was beloved. That's it for this morning's rundown.
Thanks for listening.
We'll be back tomorrow with the stories you need to know.